Hello everybody, my name is Blue and today we are doing another episode of Tiny Island Resort, and this episode we are building an enclosure for the little blue penguins. The whole actual build is inspired by Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit, and I must say it's quite an interesting episode, so definitely stick around because it's quite a unique build, I must admit. The actual zoo is about these different islands that you travel through via boat. If you haven't seen the preparation video, then you should probably watch it. I explain a bit more about the actual zoo. But this exhibit, this island that we're building is New Zealand, or at least the South Island of New Zealand. And as I said, it's Lord of the Rings inspired. And I did say previous episodes that I would go into detail trying to be as accurate as possible when it comes to the native environments and stuff like that. But I couldn't say no to a Lord of the Rings build, since if you didn't know already, Lord of the Rings is actually set in New Zealand. Well, it's not set in New Zealand, but the filming locations are inside of New Zealand. They're on the film on the islands. So because of its really beautiful nature, if you don't live in New Zealand or you haven't been in New Zealand, then you should definitely search some images of New Zealand, because it has beautiful nature. It's really, really beautiful. And I think the Lord of the Rings movies really show this detail of this beautiful environment. And yeah, so we are doing a Hobbit hole, or a Hobbit house, however you want to call it. It's just a single Hobbit hole, using a lot of images online from the movies, or just general Hobbit holes, because actually I think there are Hobbit holes out there, probably in New Zealand, just obviously built by either from the movie sets, I'm not sure, or by just people who really enjoy the Hobbit, or just people who coincidentally built something that's very similar. But there are like a lot of these you can find them online if you search like Hobbit holes New Zealand. There's a lot of these kind of Hobbit holes that you can actually go and visit and stuff like that. Don't ask me where or how, I just know that they exist, because that's where I got a lot of my inspiration from. But yeah, obviously I got some from the actual movie itself as well. But it was really fun doing this kind of build, because it's a bit of a smaller build compared to a lot of the other things I've done in the past. I really enjoyed doing a lot of these smaller builds because it's more intricate. I feel like can go more into detail. A lot of people think otherwise. A lot of people think that the smaller builds limit you with details. But I just feel like because the larger builds, it's just so vast, especially if you go to builds for like big enclosures for like rhinoceros or elephants, that it's so vast and empty that it's so time consuming to detail it, like every single square inch of the whole enclosure. Whilst with this, since you don't need to spend as much time actually building it, you can spend a lot of your time just doing details, and you can really just every single like plant and piece that you place down has like a purpose. You know, you're actually looking at the placement of your plants and how you rotate them and how you angle them and stuff like that. So I'm explaining it like I'm an artist, but I'm not. And just trying to explain why I really enjoy these smaller builds, but it's not that I'm that detailed or that I'm doing that good of a detailing job. I'm just trying to say that I enjoy these kind of builds more. That's also why I'm really enjoying this zoo as well, since a lot of these islands that I am building enclosures for are relatively small. If you haven't seen the Kiwi episode yet, that was a really small episode as well. It's just it's North Island, which is also a very tiny island. Which you can see in the background of this speed build. It's just that small island up north. But yeah, I really enjoyed this smaller build. And also, if you haven't actually seen what this zoo is about, it's basically just a zoo just full of islands, and you visit this by just taking the boat tour and going in between the islands. But if you want more information about what the actual zoo is about, you should go watch the preparation video that I did. I explained a bit more about what I do on this build. But yeah, so For the actual building, I don't really use a lot of the new Oceania pieces. I mostly just use Twilight pieces, tropical pieces. Although if those red beams that I'm adding right now, those red pillars, those are actually from the Oceania pack. So I do use a couple of those new pieces. But a lot of it, like these wooden panels and the big thick beams, are from Twilight. No, actually, the big thick beams are from South America, actually, and a lot of some base game pieces as well. I remember I did a lot of this kind of explanation in one of my earlier videos, and I thought I'll do that again since I think a lot of you, or maybe not a lot, but maybe some of you appreciate that. You get some information about where these pieces come from, so you can maybe build something similar for yourselves. The roof of the Hobbit Hole is also from the Twilight pack. It's the slated roof. And then I'm not sure if you really know what a Hobbit Hole looks like. You should definitely Google it if you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, and shame on you, really. It's a masterpiece, so you should definitely watch the movie and or The Hobbit. That's also a really good movie. But these Hobbit holes are kind of built inside of like these hills. So that's basically what I'm doing here. Is I'm building an artificial hill using the roof, the grass roof panel pieces, I think they're called, from the conservation pack, I think. Or was it grassland? No, conservation. Oh, I'm not sure. Did the grassland? No, because grassland pack didn't add pieces because it was an animal pack, definitely. Yeah. So it's from the conservation pack, I remember. Yeah. So, I basically built this artificial hill. It's quite difficult to get a nice shape, especially when you're limited to these square panels. So it looks a bit geometric, but it looks good at the end once adding some rocks and some other plants, basically. But yeah, let's have a quick talk about the actual penguin itself. I've talked a lot about what the actual build is, but let's move over to the new animal. So, the actual penguin, I'm quite a fan. Okay, I'll straight off the bat, I'm a fan. The question of did we need another penguin species is obviously there. I think any species is a welcome species. I've said that before, but obviously we have to kind of pick and choose since we won't have infinite packs. And if a penguin species was something that I think was necessary, I don't think it was necessary. But I'm really happy we got it nonetheless, since I'm a big fan of penguins and I'm a big fan of birds. I think a lot of you are really big fans of birds, so I think a lot of you are really happy with this pack adding two new birds. The little blue penguin being one of them. And actually, even if we did get a third penguin, which obviously we did, I don't think a lot of you would have initially thought of the little blue penguin. I think a lot of you really thought more of something like an Tazzies penguin, maybe even the rockhopper. Those iconic, more like Antarctic animals like the Tazzies. Although I'm not sure, I think rockhoppers live in Africa now that I think about it, not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? I'm not sure about the distribution area of the rockhopper penguins. But yeah, those are definitely the more popular ones. Even maybe the emperor penguin, even though the emperor isn't the most popular zoo animal, I think it's definitely a more iconic one. But nonetheless, I'm really happy it isn't those, and I'm really happy it is the little blue penguin, more specifically because it's an oceanic animal, and, I really love the oceanic animals, and I think the little blue penguin is an awesome addition to the game, adding more Oceania wildlife, and also adding more birds. And it's a fun fact, it is the smallest penguin species. It's also adorable since it is small and it's blue. It's literal blue penguin. So it's one of my favorite penguin species. Maybe it is my favorite penguin species now that I think about it. No, actually that's a lie. My favorite is the Galapagos penguin, just because of its very unique place of where it lives. Basically, it lives on the Galapagos Islands. But that's something else. That's a different species of penguin. Today is the little blue penguins, so it's all about them today. And the penguin is really good textured as well. It has some really cool animations. I'm not sure if the other penguins do this, but I just saw one of them just lie down on its stomach and just chilling, and it's so adorable. I love it. I think if anyone hasn't bought the Oceania pack. I think this is one of the key sellers of the pack. It's just so adorable. I'm sure all of you would appreciate a cute penguin like this. But yeah, enough about penguin and enough about anything really, since we are getting to the end of the speed build, and unfortunately I won't be doing a walkthrough at the end of this episode. That's mostly because you have seen it, it's right here, and you saw this cinematic at the beginning of the episode, so I don't think a walkthrough is really necessary. We'll definitely do a walkthrough once we have all of the enclosures of the Oceania pack ready. But yeah, that's the end of the episode, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.